Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday, March 9th, and we're going to review 0-day options on SPY. Price action here, small count challenge. Let's go. Crazy day today. We had a big gap down. Here's Eric's 30-minute. So, big gap down. Right here for the open. This is 200. We're almost at 200. We're only like 10 points away today. Not even. I guess, yeah, from the low. Oh, yeah, from the low, only 5 points. But we opened up just deep below Bollinger, that bottom Bollinger, which is, it doesn't hang out there much. This is the other day. We had it, big bounce out of there. Especially without retesting 5-day, which we did, let's see, 2 days ago, well, 2 trading days ago, Thursday, retested it. That day we hit bottom end of the 5, which I think, yeah, this is the 5, isn't it? Yeah. And then pinned way below it on Friday. Look at this candle, this thing's massive. And then today we opened way below it. So anytime you're that far below Bollinger, you can kind of take a little YOLO calls. No, not YOLO calls, but you can usually get a little bounce. Today's was led by News Catalyst. Let's get into it though. Let's see. I'm not taking any swing YOLO calls. Just day trading for now. So with that huge gap down, we've got increased IV by a long ways, over 40%. Everything near the strike, near the money. So that makes it much more sketchy to trade, and I have to really be careful when it's when the IV's that high. You just get crushed. Contracts are a lot more value, and they lose value quickly. If you get any consolidation, they just get wrecked. Yeah. So first trade, I was a little bit late to charting, only a few minutes. I was watching Eric's Sunday video. I usually watch it on Monday. He has like a study workshop type thing on Sunday. Still waiting for him to show us how he sees the algos. And I kind of got it to a certain extent, but some days I'm like, I have no idea how he's seeing that. And even today, like, I saw what he was drawing some, and mine didn't, or no, for Friday, mine didn't line up. It still worked for the same strategy, but they were different. So I don't know. I guess fine with me, but just curious. 1002 was my first trade. We had, I mean, these candles already were huge though. 665.75, 666.90. Yes, just this candle right here is over a point. So large candles, large AV. I had gray for the precision selling. I was looking for the bullish controlled or bearish controlled buying. I came up with this one right here based on this breakout candle and then popping up into this resistance and this support here. And then it kind of resurfaced itself right here. Support, broke through, retraced. I mean, yeah, actually this purple is legit. It's just, it wasn't a whole lot of price action structure for me to have a much confidence in it. But anyway, started selling gray, tapered out of gray into, or just broke gray there. Had a couple new lows here, and so I charted this gold, which I don't think was actually legitimate, but maybe. Look at it later and see if it was. So just kind of wedging and grinding. At this point I was looking for purple to build liquidity to go short, or potentially gray to break to go long. So you can see the wedge that I had basically drawn here. But then when it broke there and then came down here, I'm like, all right, it's tapering, it looks like. And let's see, broke up here. Is this where I went? Yeah, so I got a call on this one. I charted gray at that point. No, I didn't get a call here. I'm sorry. I got a put. So this is for a retracement. Not even a retracement. This was top of my wedge at that point. Gold being my stop and looking for just a small move, but with how large the moves are, this would have been a big move. 664.51, 662.50. So would have been multiple points. Given, yeah, the structure is very tight, very small, but risks are very small too. But not that small because the IV's high and these candles are large and it's early candles. So Opened right about here and closed on that candle. So I think, let's see, yeah, 175 to 159. First trade was a red one. Like, okay, no problem. Shook it off and let's see, waited. So we had the tapering of the gold, which I wasn't too sure about. White, I was somewhat confident with, but not totally yet. Just because I think I had it up here too, maybe somewhere. I see it there, but yeah, maybe here. You can see support and flipping to resistance. I don't know if I ever saw that or not. Can't remember. But yeah, I could tell it's just kind of wedging. And then I drew this red. Yeah, I drew the red from back here on this resistance. Flipping into... Yeah, I didn't really do it there. I mean, you can see it later on, kind of flipping into support and then resistance. And then you see it clear support right there. So basically at this point, I'm waiting for a wedge to break out, or to break out of the wedge rather. And I have gray now, so I have the kind of the top range of my wedge. And I had red for the bottom. Purple, yeah, I had purple from before. So I had purple for a bottom, and then gray for the top. And it broke gold here, but I wasn't too sure on gold. Broke white or gray here, with red being the support. This is of course much easier to see in hindsight, but did break the gray there. I put gray for another resistance up here as well as Hive Day. So started selling, and then you have a smaller wedge here. Started selling in the gray as well as buying in the red. Wasn't buying up in the purple anymore based on the support here and here and here. So have a wedge getting tighter and tighter, which is bullish because it goes from a steeper selling to a tapering, and then this gray is bullish controlled selling right here. So it's getting bullish, but it of course could keep selling the gray. I was looking for potentially a move to purple to go along, for that being my stop, or even a move to gray potentially. The problem is a little bit when you're getting calls on a bearish controlled buying algo. It's bearish controlled, so if it's actually bouncing on that, it's not the best sign. So getting it breaking out of that to the upside would be better, or waiting for this to break up here. I like it because the risk reward. However, it's not a good sign, even though it is going in your favor. Because oftentimes I'll get in there, and then that's when it does a little bounce and flushes through. Like, oh, well, yeah, it makes sense. So in this case, I didn't get that opportunity because it was buying up this red, which I would say this is just a mellow, bullish buying channel. I don't think this was bearish controlled based on the degree, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Regardless, it's steep enough to where you could do all right with 0-day long options here. Of course, spreads would be nice, futures would be nice too, just with how high the IV was. But yeah, let's look at the next trade and see what I'm talking about. Next one was a call at 10:39. So did all this fancy stuff. Big, I mean, these candles, this 663.28, 665.27, big candles. It broke my white. So I considered when it broke here, but you can see why it's just not even that nice, because it broke here, but then it just starts consolidating and building liquidity again above white. So it's like, yeah, so anyways, I got a call at 10:39. So once it broke my final gray right here, looking for a cup to close, which is still 667.47, 666.11. So yeah, still plenty of action, given you have to get more than half a point. You don't have to, but when IV's higher like this, it's pricing in a higher move, so your moves are going to be larger, and so it's not like you're necessarily looking for half a point. You're looking for kind of a point at least, I would say, when IV's at 40%. I try not to even really trade much, or if I do, I'm very, very careful about it. Anyways, on this one, I got it on this retrace right here of the white. So not perfectly, it was like right here. I've been limit ordering, so I got a limit order on that one, using hotkeys still. Still, they're not like muscle memory by any means, but I can definitely be more efficient and quicker, and I'll be able to scale in easier, open and close faster. So, which there's some problem with that too. You can get whipsawed easier because you can just trade so much quicker, and you can make mistakes if everything's kind of it's more automated. But anyways, got one here. I didn't have this red line here at that point. I had this one here, and I was like, well, kind of sucks it's hanging out here. I'd like to just be buying the green, but gray really needs to be my support, and like theoretically it could sell all the way down to the red, which is not ideal. So I'm like, I'm looking for another channel for me to calculate my risk, and that's when I put in that red. Thankfully it was buying up in that red initially. So hit it here on the wick and then hit it here, and through this same red right here for the support. I'm like, all right, it's buying up in red. I'll use this for my stop. If it breaks here, I'll stop out, because then it could come all the way down here before it rallies. I'd get another call down here. That was my plan. If it comes down here and shows any kind of bouncing, I'd average into it. But it didn't, and this stayed here, and I was able to hold through here. No stress, actually. It was mellow. Wasn't looking at P&L, and then it started to rally, which is very nice. Nice big green candles, big green candles, big green candles, and right here, I literally closed right there. Breaking green. I knew it was gonna break green right when this candle closed because of my little timer, and like that's all I want. It's at high of day, cup close, close it there. So did my hotkey, close it out. Didn't look at P&L. I was stoked on that because I was pretty sure I was green for, you know, a fair amount. And then it started grinding up and buying up in this red still, which isn't ideal. Of course, you can see like little handle here, another, I mean, not deep structure though. So just buying this red. So potentially you could get it like maybe here on this retest of red, maybe here on the but it wasn't the best. And it came all the way up here, and then this is yesterday's low I have marked. And so once it got up here, I think I even ate in that time, I don't know. But I came back to the computer and was like, just looking, and then I was curious. I was like, kind of wanting to know where my P&L was based to see how I should kind of trade, if I should kind of just put the brakes on, or, you know, to see how much I was up to kind of get a gauge. Like, I don't want to trade the P&L, but I guess, yeah, yeah, I guess because I do kind of have a goal still, but it's, yeah, I was curious and I wanted to find out. Wasn't planning on trading, but right about here I looked at it. So it just kind of retested yesterday's low, broke that first red, and I look right here and I look over my P&L and it's like 240. Like, what? Like, there's no way I did that on that trade right there. So then I'm like looking through and trying to find the fills and what happened, and I notice there's positions still open. It's bittersweet. It's sweet because I held runners. In fact, I averaged in on accident. It's bitter because my mistakes make more money than I make on purpose. But no, this is the nature of runners, and why it will be nice once I have less IV and more confidence where I can trade at least 4 contracts and have at least 1 runner. So my hotkeys, yeah. You know this perfect exit right here? I bought one. So this contract, hold on, let's look here. I bought at 1039 on that candle. Held through that, no big deal. Came up here, thought I got a great exit. So my buy was at $1.89, and this exit would have been at 242. So it would have, I actually briefly saw the exit number. I didn't notice that it was a buy. I thought it was a sell. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. You know, that's not bad. It's like 40, let's see, 50. Yeah. So I was like, I'm greened a fair amount. It was like $50 or something. And then I walked away. And so instead of that being a buy or a sell, I actually bought at 242. So bought at 189, bought another one at 242. So I had 2 of them, and walked away and came back and started to notice my P&L's up much more than I thought. And I quickly just market sold both of them. So bittersweet in the sense, it's awesome when you can make money from mistakes, but it's also humbling because anyways, so sold them both for $332. They were pretty deep in the money at that point, and I actually saw the price. They were both at like $360 just a couple minutes earlier. I had the contract pricing up. So I didn't get the best exit, but it was on accident, and that's one of those times, like, right when you notice it, your first instinct is to just want to hold it. You're like, oh, this thing's up, let's see if it can keep going. The neurons in your brain just start firing gamble, and it didn't really happen to me this time, but there's often times where that comes about, where it's like, you made a mistake and you realize you're still in it, and then all of a sudden you want to just ride it. And in this case, thankfully, I was like, no. I saw them both. I'm like, I'm closing immediately. So that put me up a bunch on the day, and I was stoked. And I was also like, I probably shouldn't really trade because that was a bad mistake, and I just got given a gift of holding through all this crappy chop with 0 days, and it worked out. And thankfully I checked here, and this price action was also just a grind up. If it came here and then did a big move down here to retest white for a handle, if it ever made a handle on there and I happened to check it at the wrong time, that would have been very nasty, because I would have closed, most likely, for sure, and it would have been a big red day. So I got fortunate that it did just grind up, and I happened to check it here. Of course, if I checked it here, they did end up going to 500, or $5. So it would have been $1,000 instead of whatever, 200 something. But I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't trying to gamble it. So happy and thankful that worked out, and thought I should just give a little thanks and take it easy. So got out of those. This would have been a profit target for sure, yesterday's low, if I had had more contracts. I was trying to get one more if it came down. The handles all here were pretty small, so if I was in position, it's fine to hold, but I wasn't trying to enter anywhere in here. Yeah. So next trade. So it came up, rallied up. I then charted this gold for a bullish controlled selling. As the day kind of progresses, oftentimes the algos will flatten out their degree, and at least that's what I've noticed. So this was the one I started to notice here, just from this price action. I think this was legitimate. Yeah, ended up doing it here too. So, and then yeah, broke here and then retested. Anyways, came up here. I of course I had a little FOMO through here. I'm like, oh man, I mean, there's, in hindsight, it's much easier to see the break and the retest of white, but this price action was actually pretty nasty. Pretty slow. This purple I didn't have charted perfectly, or I probably would have gotten calls here just to trade in the channel here for this cup and handle, even though it's an ugly handle. But I didn't, this wasn't like perfectly charted at that point, this purple. Same purple from back here, but it just, yeah. Once it happened, then I'm putting it in to see, and but yeah, you can see it there. So yeah, otherwise I probably could have caught that. This mistake back here though, I really did want to pump the brakes a bit, I think. Let's see, when was my next trade? Because I did trade a couple more times, but and gave back a little bit. I had to give some back. Next one was at 106. 106? Yeah, so I waited quite a while. 106 for a call. So I did it, yeah. So what I just said I was going to do here, I ended up doing up here. The only difference with this was, I mean, same type of principle. Up here though, or back here, it made a cup and a handle, and there's still a gap to fill. And then this price action up here is much more indicative of a head, and it already hit pretty solid target of gap filling, like it literally perfectly filled. So I had that in mind when it was here, but I'm like, well, it still could keep grinding up, and I'll just keep trading the channel. But thinking if it breaks here, I should get puts, because this is a nice head. There's nice shoulder liquidity here, and that is breaking this purple. But I didn't. I got a call because of what I said earlier about that. But if I wasn't getting anything, you can see why you'd want to get puts if it breaks here. But the problem is knowing where to close that, because this is a retracement trade and you don't know how far it'll retrace. But I mean, if you can put in, some sort of channel or charting to figure out like how you want to, of course it wouldn't be that, but how you want to manage it. So, anywhere down here you could take it, you can wait till there. Anyways. So yeah, I got a call here. Where'd I get it? Got it at 106. So yeah, bounced on that. Or no, I got it right here. Yep, there's a limit order. Held through here. It actually didn't lose like really hardly any value through there because it was far enough out of the money. And I closed it out at 116. Yeah, I held that thing for 10 minutes. Close it out on this candle right here, right after that one closed below purple. And potentially if I wasn't in this, I would have gotten puts there. Maybe not though. I mean, yeah, maybe I would have. Sometimes I get those and they work out. Sometimes I get them and it just kind of grinds down. So I'm not super eager to take those. But in this case, it was nice. It was a nice move. Look at that little inverse head and shoulder. I actually didn't really notice that. Yeah. So I had the wrong direction, which is fine. Stop out. It came down. I was a little bummed I missed it because I was in the wrong trade. And yeah, next one. Let's see. Oh yeah, 237. I tried to get into a put. Where is that? Oh, and then I end up getting into a put. Okay, I did end up getting it. These are both limit orders. I'm doing more limit orders. 230s. Yeah, right here. So trying to catch it as a retracement or a zombie. Not thinking we're gonna have much continuation. Monday already had a pretty big move up. We filled the gap. Thinking settle back down near VWAP or whatever with the top of the wedge according to my charting. So this could very well be a head, and it looked like one. Trust me, when this is happening, I was like, I want to get calls, and then it starts to just show a little resistance here. I'm like, oh no, that's very well could be a head. So I got a put right here at 237. So beginning of that candle was a nice limit order. Started grinding. I was fine with it. I had a coffee today prior to this, and I had a coconut creamer, and I'm pretty sure there was like spiked with laxative because right here I was like, that was insane. I didn't know what to do, so I had to leave. So I don't know where I closed this thing, but I had to go. And was that a green trade? No, I think it was red. Yeah, let me see. I don't even like coconut. 30. Oh, it was a market order. Yeah, I had to go. I had a market order it. What is this? Oh, okay, 30 cents to 28 cents. I closed it 10 minutes later, so at 247. I was like, if it breaks here, I want to get calls. But I couldn't. I had to go. So I closed it right here on that wick, which is kind of too bad, I guess, now, because I definitely would have held through that. I don't know if I would have made money on this. I don't know where I would have closed it exactly, but dang, actually, I didn't even think about how that would have been a green trade. Yeah, closed it. It's like just starting to turn a little green, and I was like, if this goes against me, it's not gonna be worth it at all if it just rips. So I was like, I'm just gonna close this. Anyways, went down. I glanced at the chart later on my phone, and I saw this big move. Maybe it hit my alert. I don't know why I looked at the chart, but I did. I had an alert probably for gold. A lot of volume on that candle. Hit my alert. I get back to the computer. It's like on this candle or maybe this one. I'm like starting to look around and like, okay, I'm like, okay, it broke it, but it's kind of hanging out right in between it. Today's kind of full of big candles in both directions, kind of out of nowhere, probably from Trump talking. And so I was like, wasn't thinking much of it. I was thinking, whatever. And then this candle, I'm like, I mean, it did close above it, but I don't know what's going on here. I'll wait. And then this candle comes up, and it just goes, whoom, and it's like right here. And I'm looking at my strike, and I have it getting ready for a limit order. Kind of waiting for it to close. It was like 15 seconds into it though, so I had a while, and I was like, I'll wait for a little retrace, and it's in seconds, high of day. I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course I could chase it, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I get fortunate with my chases and they work. And this one would have worked, but at that point this would have been my profit, my first profit target. If I had gotten it here and it was normal price action, this was my first profit target. So basically I'm like, I'm not gonna open it here, so where I'd be taking profit. Huge volume, slippage went insane just on that first half a candle. And then also with that, I'm like, well, okay, say I hold it past high of day, green's gonna be my stop. So I'm like, well, at least need to wait for a retrace back to the green. This was buying up in something stronger than green though. Not something I didn't have charted, so it's not, it's just whatever straight up lines are. So yeah, I didn't catch this. It did break it though, and it closed above it. And if I was a little quicker, if I'd market ordered potentially, but yeah, thing was, it literally was when I was going to, I was waiting for somewhat of a retrace or somewhat of a closer to a candle close again, because today was pretty. There was times where it was doing quite a bit of gapping and trapping, like not gapping, but ripping and rejecting, and even here, there was like a lot of volume went way up and then came way down. So, yeah, I wasn't trying to jump in on anything too crazy. So, and then it hit my profit target immediately. Like maybe if it chilled out like for one little candle and hit, like got closer to green, I would have gotten in. Actually, I sure definitely would have gotten in, but it literally didn't. It just went straight up. So, wasn't able to catch that one. And I guess with my lucky trade earlier, that's all 670 to 670.77, 673.40, almost 3 points. That's crazy. Huge candle. Trump said war might be over soon. I think that's something like that. So that started this crazy price action. We have 5-day opening print right here. That's definitely a target. Of course, it broke gold, so I'm looking to go long, but you know, can't really just jump on this train. The only thing I could do is maybe wait for a retrace to green, and so then I can at least manage my risk. And it didn't retrace enough here. I put a little gold line in here for liquidity, and it broke it. I'm like, it's still pretty far from green, and it keeps rallying up. And then we have a nice big red candle, and I open right here, right there, calls, or one call. Problem then at that point too was Ivy was so pumped. It got down to like 25% before these crazy candles, and then by the time I was up here, we were like 43%. So when you're getting a huge bump in IV from it going up, it's crazy. Like it happens, but I think it's way easier to happen when it goes down. So yeah, crazy IV also, which you could easily just get decayed out of, or just any kind of reversal candle. And so I got in right here and using green for my stop, and then I got in, it kept coming down. I was like, no problem. And then I'm like, well, it's about to close. It closes down here, and then this candle is just red and it's below green. I stop out right there. Yep, broke my green. I stopped out, given it was a green candle, but it stopped me right there. Yep. So that contract actually went 100% to up to 5-day, which would have been definitely a profit target for myself. Let's see. There's that one. Oh yeah, so this was 61 cents at 3:30. So yeah, on this candle. Closed it at 331 for 47 cents. So even this little bit right here is pretty nasty stop. Here to here. My strike for that one was 678. So I wasn't going too far out of the money, just basically next strike right there. Looking for 5-day. And yeah, I think these did do like 100%. Even with that high of IV, which is crazy. If we can kind of bring this over here. Yeah, yes. There's the trades we just discussed. This is the desktop platform for E-Trade. So not much trading today, which is good. Happy about that. And honestly, big green day, which was totally just gifted to me because it was based on a mistake. I mean, I had the right idea, but especially today where the IV's so high, I'm not trying to hold runners or scale in or have bigger positions. Yeah, maybe I would have got another contract if it did come down, like I said, down here. But back there, I bought another one. I was trying to close, and then I was able to just totally not have any of the stress or concern with it through all this grind up, because I didn't think I had it open, and then to be able to just look at it and close it. Nice gift. So up on the day, I gave a little bit back at the end, but yeah, $190. So pretty good sized green day for this tiny account. Yeah, so happy about that. Want to just be careful tomorrow, and you know, IV's still going to be high, I'm sure, and not to scale up. Just keep it simple, keep it to one contract till IV settles down. So fully retested 5-day today, so we'll see. 5-day might be 5-day bottom Bollinger until we retest 200-day moving average. Very well could be, or that's it, and we're gonna just rip now. Literally grabbed all of yesterday or all of Friday's liquidity in 2 minutes on this 30-minute candle. 2 minutes, grabbed all that, boom, and now we're back up here. So maybe it'll come up to 20-day for a retest. Or maybe we're on our way up, because this was literally the bottom of Eric's channel, and it hit like perfect on that green and rallied. So top of this wedge would be here, which is probably top of the daily Bollinger. And yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.